Holy hell, I was not expecting this one to be another feels game. Plague of Shadows branches off from the game Shovel Knight, which I reviewed back in May. If you haven't watched it yet, please do before watching this review. I'll be referring back to it. Like I said in the Shovel Knight review, Yacht Club Games announced that they plan on releasing free DLC involving Plague Knight. I took that as just being able to play as Plague Knight in the stages, but they took it one step further and gave the explosive alchemist his own story. His story happens alongside Shovel Knight's and involves him trying to brew a potion of unlimited power. What exactly unlimited power entails is never really explained, just that each Knight of the Order holds a crucial ingredient for the potion, namely their essences, which are also left pretty vague, but essentially they're the physical forms of the personality trait that each knight holds dear, like courage or avarice. Kind of like when Heinrich von Marzipan turned the kids next door's proudest traits into caramels. Sorry, I'm still on a bit of a KND kick because of the last review. Anyway, that's Plague Knight's reason for rebelling against the Order, but that's not the main focus of the story here. No, the real story is the relationship between Plague Knight and his assistant, Mona. In Shovel Knight's story, Plague Knight was painted as an excitable, explosion-happy alchemist. Which he is, but apparently he's also a socially awkward guy who has trouble talking to his crush. I think a ton of us gamers can relate to that. But unbeknownst to Plague Knight, Mona is crushing on him just as hard. As he goes from lair to lair collecting essences, Mona stays in the potionarium doing research for him, so he can accomplish his goal easier. That is, until Mona encounters Black Knight, who makes her suspect that Plague Knight loves the Magicist instead. She takes off, and Plague Knight is left to complete his potion without her. Eventually, his quest for unlimited power leads him to the Enchantress's tower, where he takes her essence and finally completes his potion. But it turns out he didn't create it to take over the world or anything maniacal like that. He just wanted to become good enough for Mona. She tells him that he never needed to brew the potion to prove himself worthy, but the damage is already done. The last distillation goes haywire and creates the Plague of Shadows. After a fierce battle, he's able to take it down and stabilize the potion. But now that Mona's confessed her love for him, he feels that he doesn't need it anymore, and instead uses it to level the tower. The relationship between Plague Knight and Mona is so heartwarmingly awkward. She wears her heart on her sleeve, but Plague Knight never takes the hint. Not even when he catches her dancing by herself and she practically asks him to join her. He does decide to take dance lessons from the Trouble King because of it though. On top of watching Mona and Plague Knight fumble through the stages of relationship building, we also gain insight to some surprising prejudice. Apparently the villagers don't trust alchemists at all, which forces them to practice their craft underground. Plague Knight isn't even allowed into the village, so he has to use a secret entrance to get to the alchemist's potionarium. You lost the key, but the locksmith will be here in a week or two, huh? Yeah, screw that. Every alchemist in the village experiments here and creates items and potions that Plague Knight can buy from them. Which brings us to how Plague Knight controls. Forget everything you know about controlling Shovel Knight because none of it will apply here. Plague Knight throws explosive potions to blast away enemies, so I guess you could say he's something of a ranged fighter. You can buy tons of different explosives from Mona. Ones that explode in 4 directions, hone in on enemies, shoot fire across the floor, and many more. Plague Knight can also jump multiple times. 2 standard jumps and then a bomb burst after charging it up for a second. Bomb bursts also come in many different shapes and sizes, but regardless of which you choose, it's a bit difficult to get used to. The bomb burst sends you flying pretty far, which can lead to overshooting platforms. Along with different potions and bomb bursts, Plague Knight can also pick up other items from Chester. He's hesitant to take your money though, because he's worried you'll give him transmuted gold. I guess the 3-state alchemist laws don't exist in this world. He'll sell at a heightened price, but he'll also accept trades. Namely, relics that you can find in levels. Speaking of the levels, they've barely changed, which kind of works to Plague Knight's detriment. In my Sonic 3 and Knuckles review, I said that I don't like playing as Knuckles because his playstyle doesn't really fit well with levels that were designed mainly for Sonic and Tails. That issue also resonates here, though not as much, thankfully. For the most part, I really enjoy playing as Plague Knight. He's really weird to control, but after getting the hang of it, it's pretty cool to fly all over the place and blow up everything around you. But once in a while, I'll come across an obstacle or a piece of terrain that doesn't quite feel right and I'll plummet to my death. Ugh, seriously, why is this jump in the first level? I know I don't have too much room to complain since this DLC was free, but I feel like the levels could have been molded to Plague Knight a little bit better. Also, this DLC brings some weird continuity errors with it. Before entering the Enchantress's tower, Plague Knight confronts Black Knight, who's received the Enchantress's power-up. Okay, so we can assume that this is after his scuffle with Shovel Knight. But when it comes to the boss rush, Plague Knight gets there first and takes everyone down with an unconscious Shovel Knight in the background. Then Shovel Knight wakes up to deal the final blow and leaves them all hanging. Alright, so you'd think that puts Shovel Knight back in the lead, but Plague Knight is still able to confront the Enchantress, meaning that Shovel Knight hasn't faced her yet. Then after the Plague of Shadows is beaten, Plague Knight immediately blows the tower sky high, leaving Shovel Knight little to no time to beat the Enchantress, free Shield Knight, and take down the Enchantress's second form. I suppose this could be a what-if alternate reality, but there's no solid proof of that. Plague of Shadows leaves a lot of loose ends that weren't there to begin with. But, like I said, this DLC was completely free, so glaring continuity issues aside, just being able to play as one of the villains is cool enough for me. Not to mention the story is another compelling tearjerker, which I'll always be a sucker for. Supposedly King Knight and Shield Knight are next on the list, so hopefully we'll hear more about their inclusion soon. Oh, much better. Alright, well, as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.